What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we're talking about PR Breakers Materia pre-workout. Let's get to it. For those of you that are new to the channel, I really hope that you hit that subscribe and bell for notifications. We like to put out content every single week, guys. I am freshly kind of back off of a little bit of a hiatus, if you will. So with that being said, guys, let's jump right into this review. I'm so stoked to get into this. Like, honestly, it's been so long and I'm a little rusty, I'm not gonna lie, but you know what? We're gonna give you the best content we possibly can today. So if you're new to the channel, we break down the supplement review, this sort of supplement, a pre-workout, into 4 different parts. We're gonna talk about number 1, price; 2, the label ingredient breakdown; thirdly, we'll talk about the taste. We'll run this for 2 to 3 days and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the effects. So very excited. That's kind of the format, the sequence. I am gonna keep that kind of true to the videos moving forward. I know I mentioned before, you know, there might be some changes. Obviously the studio is very different. This is still a work in progress, still trying to work through it. I just really wanted to put out some content for you guys and start reviewing some products again. All right, guys, so let's just jump right into this price. This comes in at $34.99. That is for 20 full servings. That price per serving breaks down to about $1.75 a serving. Now, the serving size is actually 2 scoops, so just kind of keep that in mind. But on the consistent pricing scale, which has not changed since the last time, that does come in at a 5 out of 10. Now, 5 out of 10 on a pricing scale is right at average, right? 5 right in the middle, right? It's right in the middle of being, you know, really cheap, really expensive. So that's not a bad score by any means. 5 out of 10, that is consistent. And let's move right into the label ingredient breakdown. Now, like I said, guys, it has been a while. I didn't do like a big refresher, go through all my old videos. A lot of this is just kind of in the memory bank, so bear with me. Like I said, 22.5 grams is the serving size. That is for 2 full scoops, 20 full servings like I just mentioned. And we start out with 8 grams of citrulline malate 2-to-1 ratio. Now, I haven't been a big fan of citrulline malate 2-to-1 in the past. That's more just a personal preference for me. You're still getting over 4 grams of pure citrulline, which is kind of what I look for, between 4 and 5, sometimes upwards of 6. Now I supplement citrulline on the side, so I'm not overly concerned about citrulline malate, but a lot of people don't, you know, add in extra citrulline throughout their day. So I think that's a good amount, 8 grams of citrulline malate. And a lot of people like the malic acid, they get better pumps, and that's what this ingredient is for. Those pumps, vascularity, can help you in the gym. So next up, we have 5 grams of the Pure trademarked ingredient, creatine monohydrate. Now, I am a fan of companies that put creatine in pre-workout. Why? I don't think there's a lot of adverse negative effects when it comes to creatine. Now, some people can have some stomach, some bloating issues, right? For me personally, I don't have those. So for me, I'm looking for a product that can kind of stack in a few of these other ingredients that maybe a lot of other pre-workouts don't want to put in because they're looking towards the masses, right? And with the Pure, I have taken that before. I've talked about it on the channel before. I like this trademarked ingredient. I think it mixes very, very well. You don't taste anything. There's really nothing there. So that's really nice. Next up, we have 2 grams of L-Tyrosine. I think that is an efficacious amount. It is micronized. That's what it says right here on the label, as you guys can see. I think that is a good amount. This label is very simple. So I will give them that they're keeping it very simple, you know, keeping it down and dirty, putting, you know, just the core ingredients in here, which I like. You know, sometimes you just go too far. It's finding that right balance, I think, is very important. So next up, we have 1 gram of choline bitartrate. It's going to be a little bit of a nootropic, going to help with the focus, mind, muscle connection in a sense. Is kind of a way I like to think about it, honestly, is that like the caffeine and the stimulants and that sort of stuff, which we'll get into here in a second, is going to really help with the energy, right? It's going to allow you to push further, but really the mind has to be in a very good, healthy spot to really, you know, push further, you know, to get those muscles to activate and to really create that connection that you're trying to target. So I think that's very important. Like I said, 300 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. I think that is a good amount. On the lower side for me personally, right now I'm not super high stim, so actually 300 is going to be probably a good amount. That's right kind of where I've been, and I like to go upwards 350 to 400, or I like to see a little bit of some dicaffeine malate in these sort of products so that I can have an extended release sort of caffeine throughout my workout. And last up, we have 200 micrograms of the huperzine A. Again, another nootropic ingredient, gonna help with the mind-muscle connection. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't believe I got through that. Crazy. I literally didn't have to look up anything. Everything's still up there, which is good. I think the label is fully transparent, which is great. This is a very simple, like I said, this can be taken either one way or completely the other. I think this is super simple and super easy. I think this is from a reputable company. I don't know that much about them. This is my first time trying their products, but I do think, you know, overall, in terms of the label and ingredient breakdown, everything is very well dosed in here for me, and I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I do think it is missing a couple ingredients if we're really gonna nitpick, but I think an 8 out of 10 is still a great score. So let's move into the taste, guys. Like I said, this does come in 4 different flavors. I got the blue raz, pretty stoked to try that. I'm not a big blue raz fan, I'm not gonna lie, but to be honest with you, like, it's a pre-workout, I'm just gonna slam it back. Taste is very subjective. I always mention that in all of my videos, and I think it's always important to talk about that. So this does recommend 8 to 16 ounces of water. Now that is dependent on how many scoops you do. I am gonna do 2 full scoops. Right now I have 12 ounces of water, and excited to see how this mixes up. Let's give it a go. So this is kind of the benefit of this new setup, is I can literally just come right up here. You guys can see the scoop right there. It's not gonna focus. Nope, it's not gonna focus. But yeah, so there's 1 and 2. So I am gonna probably run this for 2 days, just today and tomorrow. I'm gonna come back tomorrow night, film my wrap up. I am shooting this obviously not the day of. That's kind of how I shoot my reviews, and then I'll have this up for you guys next week. So excited to give this a go. I heard really good things from my friend, and let's give it a nice good shake. I do not use a blender ball, guys. That's just kind of a thing I don't use. So this is the mixability right here. A little bit, actually there's quite a bit of foam. You guys can see that here. A lot of foaming in here. Sediment on the bottom, minimal, if any. Yeah, you see a little bit down there on the bottom, but it's pretty minimal. So let's give it a nice taste test. Okay, very smooth, a little sweet, a little tart. This is actually very refreshing. I'm really surprised. The reason I say I'm surprised is because due to all the foaming up here on the top. No sediment, everything mixes very, very nicely. This is honestly really phenomenal, to be honest, in terms of the taste. I think it mixes very well. You know, there is a bit of foam, but I really don't taste it. It's not like getting into my mouth. No sediment. I think the flavor is really on point. I'm really surprised. Like, blue raz is kind of one of those weird kind of flavors that I'm just not too sure if it's gonna hit right or not. Yeah, I think it has a nice balance. It's not really overly sweet. It does have a nice tart, kind of sour on the back end, which is really nice. I think right off the top, you get kind of this sweet, refreshing kind of flavor. I think they did a great job. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because of a little bit of some foaming, and I know some people are gonna nitpick. Again, it's kind of one of those things like the perfect score, can you really be perfect? Like if you're perfect, then I don't know how the saying goes, but you know where I'm going, guys. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna finish up the rest of this. I'm gonna run this for 2 days. This is the start of my week. So today will be chest, tomorrow will be back. So some 2 big major muscle groups, which I'm excited to give this a go. We'll come back, we'll talk about the effects, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, we just finished up a workout. This is day 2 of running PR Breakers Materia pre-workout. I'll be honest, I kind of missed an ingredient, I believe. Beta-alanine, 3.2 grams. I think I talked about that. Maybe I didn't. I think I missed on it. I'll have to go back and obviously when I edit this, etc. Anyway, let's talk about the effects. So ran this for 2 days. 1 day was non-fasted, 1 was fasted. Today was the fasted day. And let's get into it. So in terms of the effects, guys, definitely get the beta-alanine tingles. So just mind you that, you know, obviously I've not been taking a lot of beta-alanine. Some pre-workouts have it in there, some don't. So typically when I don't take beta-alanine for an extended period of time in terms of if it's in a pre-workout, when I do take it again, especially at an efficacious dose like 3.2 grams, I am gonna get those tingles. Definitely felt it both yesterday and today. The tingles were pretty heavy. I personally like that flushing kind of feeling. Tells me that like my body's absorbing, you know, the supplement, and it's time to get going in the gym. That's kind of what I've always said on the channel. So definitely get the beta tingles. So if that's something you don't want, maybe look at something else. Maybe do half a scoop or 1 scoop. In terms of the pumps, solid. Definitely solid pumps. I feel like the mind-muscle connection that you kind of get from this pre-workout is actually really solid. Again, this is a very simple but efficaciously dosed pre-workout. So I think it's one of those that can fit for the masses. A lot of people can take this. I think the flavor tastes really good. We kind of talked about that. Pumps were good. Energy, I would say mediocre at 300 milligrams of caffeine. I don't feel any crash, that's for sure. I am post-workout now, obviously my hair, and I probably look bleh. But no, post-workout in terms of, you know, caffeine crash, definitely don't have anything like that. It wasn't anything super high stim. I didn't feel like kind of angry or like, let's go, kind of crush the gym kind of feeling that I know some people do chase. I personally have liked that kind of feeling every once in a while. But in this case, I don't get that, which is good and bad. I mean, it can be taken a lot of different ways. Now, in terms of, again, focus, I think the focus is actually pretty solid here. There's not a lot of nootropic ingredients in here, but I think it does fulfill what most people would need. I just felt like everything was very focused when I was in the gym. And so in terms of the effects, guys, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's very, very solid. I think for stim junkies, probably not so much, but for the masses, definitely. So we're gonna dock it a point there. Do I wish it had a few more ingredients? Sure, but that's kind of this fine line of like, you put too much, then it's just a bunch of junk, right? It's not really junk, but it's more just like you're trying to put way too much into a pre-workout and your body's not really gonna know what to do with all of it, right? I think there's a very good balance that needs to be found. I think this is right almost there. So, you know, solid 8 out of 10 in terms of the effects, guys. I think you definitely feel it. Yeah, I can't say enough good things. I mean, like I said, I gotta give a big shout out to my friend Heather for you know, giving me this tub. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to potentially, hopefully getting some products from PR Breaker. I'd love to try some of their other products, do some reviews, and definitely bring you guys some more content. But I would highly recommend checking this out. I think price-wise, $1.75 a serving, not too bad. I mean, it's right in the middle, 5 out of 10. Taste definitely solid. I think the label ingredient breakdown, definitely solid in terms of efficaciously dosed. I do feel like there's some really good effects here. And the pumps were pretty solid, if you can't tell, maybe not. Anyway, so if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the next one.